Hey guys, this is Dmitry with Hardware Canucks and welcome back to another review. All-in-one desktop PCs are still lagging in popularity because they compete with ultrabooks that are a lot more portable, and price-wise they just don't offer the same performance if you were to build your own, for example. And this leaves the question then, where do all-in-one PCs fit in, considering more powerful options exist like a conventional desktop? Well, for compact and tight spaces, all-in-ones are certainly best for stationary machines that look clean and best of all are very simple. Today we're going to take a look at an AIO from Dell, which they claim to be the thinnest and lightest solution within its category. This is the XPS 18. Now they vary in configuration and pricing, so be expected to pay around $1,400 for the i7 version, 8 gigs of RAM, 500GB hard drive plus a 32GB SSD, while the lower models include weaker processors and less RAM, and they do not feature the SSD nor the power dock. While the 3rd gen Ivy Bridge CPUs are adequate for casual use, there are unfortunately no Haswell options at the moment. From the name, this is an 18.4-inch touch IPS display with full HD support, and given Windows 8 is pre-installed, you get to experience the OS with all the finger gestures the way it was meant to be. The viewing angles in this machine are pretty good, so is the contrast. Overall, the display is beautiful, although the bezel could be a little smaller. Like with any touch display though, the fingerprint madness is certainly present, and there's really no way around that if you constantly use the touch interface. The unit itself is actually quite light, weighing just under 5 pounds and surprisingly thin at 0.69 inches. It does thin out closer to the top, which makes a big difference if you're holding this in portrait mode, and given its size, it's actually quite portable. You can use it on your lap or lay it on a flat surface. Just remember, this is not meant to replace your tablet, but instead complement tight spaces. Now, one thing I would have loved to see as a wall mount. I could see a lot of potential use for commercial purposes, something customers can interact with while in the store, for example, and this feature, however, is omitted, which is a letdown. There are 2 USB ports, headphone and power jack, hidden card reader and a volume rocker on one side, and a power button on the other. We also have a front-facing webcam and capacitive Windows button at the front of the device. Stereo speakers are located on each side, so projection is good regardless of how the device is positioned. Plus, it comes equipped with Dell's own sound drivers to boost the volume, adjust the equalizer, and set your presets. But honestly, the audio out of this thing is very harsh. It lacks any bass response, and the highs in the mid-range is so overly emphasized, it is extremely unpleasant. Take a listen here. This is the highest volume without any enhancements. And now, even boosting the volume introduces very harsh sound. For comparison, take a listen at how my travel notebooks sound, with a much improved bass response and overall better audio quality.
Because I get to listen to my favorite tunes and explore the world of audio. So on my review.
And for an AIO PC, speaker quality I think is crucial to avoid having to opt out for a dedicated set, so a little disappointing from Dell. All models of the XPS 18 comes with its own Bluetooth keyboard and mouse to keep up with the portable factor. For $1,400, I was expecting something less plastic, perhaps a backlit keyboard would be nice. I didn't experience any issues with the keyboard nor the mouse, so aside from expecting more, they functioned perfectly fine. At the back, we have a pair of swivel rubberized feet that allow the unit to stand at an appropriate angle, but if you do decide to get the optional power dock, you get a more conventional style all-in-one with the display lifted and with angle adjustments. The power cable is routed cleanly through the rear cutout and is basically hidden. And once placed on the dock, the XPS 18 will charge with a settle LED to indicate it's plugged in and charging. You can easily lift the device off the dock as it's not on any clips but sits tight on magnetic backing. I like this dock, it's heavy and doesn't wobble, but it is quite low with no height adjustments, and a few extra USB ports also would be nice. And I ran into this very annoying issue while either taking the screen off the dock or placing it back on. Now what happens is the charging notification starts to play in loops and the touch interface stops to work. The mouse and keyboard work just fine, but requires a restart or sleep mode to be enabled to resolve the issue. It happened on both the replacement unit and the first one we received. And I actually discovered this issue completely by accident by plugging in a USB from the side, and the screen slightly lifted off the dock and went back down. This is either a driver issue or hardware, but about 3 out of the 5 times I took it off the dock, I had to either restart the machine or put it to sleep, which is unacceptable for a product in this category. The XPS 18, however, does perform as advertised. The i5 version we have here was totally fine handling Blu-ray video stream, online browsing, and office work, which this is intended for. It doesn't do well for gaming with the HD 4000 graphics card, and with any heavy load the fans were certainly audible. Also, another issue I noticed was with the headphone jack. There was a slight hiss, loud enough to notice with low volume, and I wasn't expecting amazing audio quality, but I would have settled for clean audio. Now I'm trying to place the XPS 18 within the market of all-in-one PCs, as this, to simplify, is a tablet on a stand and would serve perfectly fine as a family PC in the living room. Now, being able to carry it around off the dock has its benefits, not for me personally, but say you place it in your kitchen counter while making dinner, on your balcony for a show, or a coffee table for a Skype call. This certainly is not for everyone, especially those who don't care about the touchscreen or work mainly from a laptop, but suit compact spaces for stationary purposes, as the 5-hour battery life doesn't exactly serve the needs for portable users. And to conclude, Dell managed to create a very stylish and simple AIO with a decent touch and full HD display. It is very light and compact solution for tight spaces and performs like it should for the specs. However, the issue with the charging dock is a major turnoff, especially after the 2 of the review samples had experienced the same issue. And at this price point, that's absolutely unacceptable. Also, I wish the sound card was improved to get rid of the hiss when using headphones and focus on better quality stereo speakers, so users can enjoy the compact nature of the AIO without having to use dedicated speakers. Also, lower models are way too expensive for the type of performance they offer. So if you really love the style, you better opt out for the i5 or the i7 models. Now, it does live up to the hype of being the world's lightest and thinnest AIO, so it really comes down to the performance compromise given the price, as more powerful notebooks exist. Of course, building your own desktop for the same amount would equate to better performance, but what the XPS 18 lacks in future expansions and upgradability, it makes up with this very compact package, as long as you don't rely on audio playback. So thanks guys for watching. Let us know what you think of the XPS 18 and AIOs in general. Where do they fit within the whole market of custom desktops? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next review.